Hi everybody, it's Tom from FindTheBestCarPrice.com. Today we're going to look at the 2022 Honda Pilot TrailSport. You also have the TrailSport trim level or variant with the Passport, which basically is just a tiny bit shorter by a couple of inches and is not a 3-row like this one is. This does have a little bit more of an aggressive look being the TrailSport. So what exactly is that? Well, you're going to see the fender flares right here. There's a little bit of an increase in ride height. We've got the 245/60 tires here wrapped around the black 18-inch wheels. That's also part of the TrailSport package. Really, all of the black is that you see here, the black mirror caps or mirrors themselves, also the black roof rails, and then of course there are going to be some changes to the interior that we'll talk about as well. And just some of the basics here. One thing we want to talk about. Let me make sure I give this to you correctly. Are you ready? I always say the price. What exactly is it? It is $50,397. And here's the kicker, and 34 cents. So let's take a look at the front here. Of course, you're going to have Honda sensing, all those great safety features that Honda offers: lane watch, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, all that good stuff. And of course, your LED lighting with the headlights. You've got even the fog lights here on the lower portion of the bumper. That's always going to be useful. Now, I've already popped the hood open here so we can hurry and get through this without taking too much of your time. So what do we have? We've got the 3.5 liter V6, 280 horsepower, 262 foot-pounds of torque. That's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. And just to make sure I don't goof up and forget something here, I'll give you the accurate numbers here. I'm going to walk over here to the sticker to give you the MPGs. 19 miles per gallon city, 25 on the highway, 21 combined. And according to Honda, per every 100 miles you drive, you should burn through 4.8 gallons of gas. Well, that doesn't sound too terribly bad, does it? So what about the remote? The remote actually is inside here. So let me reach inside and grab that for you. We can show you a quick look at that. One of the things that a lot of people ask about is, does it have a remote start? And yes, it does. As you can see, you can also push the button to open the power rear lift gate here. We're going to go ahead and do that. Now, this is not the hands-free version, but obviously that's an option you can add with certain trim levels. This is of course 3 rows, but because of all the goodies and everything stacked back here, we're going to just leave that as it is. But you can kind of see, you can easily put quite a bit back here, to the tune of a minimum of 16.5 cubic feet all the way to up to 83.9 cubic feet. That's quite a bit for an SUV of this size. What about towing capabilities? Well, on the bottom end, 3,500 pounds up to as much as 5,000. And yes, this is an all-wheel drive model. Tires are a little bit larger, a little bit wider to kind of give a little bit more grip out on the trail. But one thing I would recommend if you were going to buy one of these that you don't option in, well, you kind of lose that a little bit of that 8.1 inches of ground clearance because of what's right here. Really not necessary, but it's on here nonetheless. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the rear seat area. Going back to that TrailSport variant, part of that's going to be the yellow contrast stitching that I'll have Kerry show you as best as he can on the seats right there. And you'll even have a little bit more of that in the front with one additional thing we'll show you when we get to the front seats. Of course, you have the 60-40 split rear seats here, or middle row seats in this case. You fold that down to help increase and maximize your cargo space. Going to have the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in, just so you know what's here. And also on a bright sunny day, even with these tinted windows, if your passengers in the middle row seats want to, they can help to decrease the glare with that built-in shade. Going to have that on both doors. Also, let me hop inside here just so you can kind of get a real world view. 5'10", I've got quite a bit of space above my head, and honestly a lot of leg room. Now, in the rear seats, let me hop back out so I can show you one thing. What if rear seat passengers say I'm a little bit cramped? There is an adjustment underneath the seats here you can move the seats back and forth quite a bit actually, and they do recline just a little bit there, as you can see. Now, hopping back in here, let me show you. Tri-zone climate control, so you're going to have single zone here in the rear and tri or dual in the front. And then, of course, control everything here. Got the air conditioning vents built in and 2 USB ports for connectivity. Quite a bit of storage space as well. I'll have Carrie show you the door bin right there. A fairly large door bin on these rear doors and cup holders built into the door armrests as well. Okay, let me get the sunglasses off now that I don't need them. You do have the power sunroof right there, just a conventional size. Maybe we're going to see a panoramic sunroof at some point in the future from Honda. Tell Honda down in the comments if you would like to see that. I think a lot of you would. Now, one of the other things, what is that difference between the rear and the front seat here with the TrailSport variant? It's going to be found right here, the TrailSport logo stitched into the headrests. Do you think that should be on all 4 headrests? It's always interesting to get your feedback on things like that. And of course, we're going to have the conventional size glove box here. That means it's a pretty large glove box. A lot of space there. And so I'll have Carrie hop on into the interior right here. We'll take a quick look at what we have with the dashboard just to show you what is here. You can even see a little bit of what's going on with the vehicle. I hope you have a good view of that. It's a little bit of a glare, but you can see right here what's going on with your vehicle when you're going off-road and different things like that. And this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, and it's going to send power where it's needed. I'll also run through the driving mode. So you can have drive, you're going to have sport, and then also normal, you're going to have snow, mud, and sand. So as I go into reverse, we'll come over here to the center screen. Here is the multi-view camera. A lot of helpful views here if I can get that to work. So there's your second view. And if you are backing up to a trailer or maybe whatever may be behind you and you want to see if you're going to hit it or not, there's that kind of looking straight down view from the rear camera to see what's behind you. Of course, you've got your navigation built in here, so you don't have to have your phone paired to use navigation. A lot of people are going to ask about that, so I want to make sure I cover that. As you can see, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay availability or capability is there, and pretty much everything that you would expect. Of course, on the steering wheel, we're going to have the typical steering wheel mounted controls here with the adaptive cruise control. You can go through a lot of different information with your lane keep assist and all that stuff. You can turn that off if you want to. And there are steering wheel mounted paddle shifters up here if you want to use those in the appropriate mode. Push button start right here. And like I said, tri-zone climate control. So dual here in the front. You can sync those together if you want to, or turn that sync off depending on the situation. Heated seats, but heated only. Something we actually can use today. Kind of unusual in Northwest Louisiana. More connectivity right here. Let me put my phone on the charger just so you can see that. The wireless phone charger. Let that come on. And tell me down in the comments what you think. Do you like the push button shifter right here, or would you rather see maybe a conventional shifter here on the console, or maybe even up here on the shift or the steering column? Almost said shifter column. That's not going to work, is it? And of course, cup holders right there. And last but not least, a very large and deep console right there. A little more connectivity as well in the front. Another USB port and a 12-volt power outlet. All right, we're going to get out for a quick test drive here. And since we have the roads of Shreveport, we're going to get out here and give you a true road noise test. Now, be it that this is really bad. This road is in horrible shape. It's completely rutted, you know, kind of washboarded out. I should say, almost said rutted up, but in a few more years it might be. You know, I don't know what you're hearing with my lapel mic. You know, you may have earbuds in or something like that, so you may be really hearing this very well. But keep in mind, we're in the left-hand lane, not as bad as the right necessarily, because usually you have more traffic over there. But when it's all said and done, I travel this road all the time. Let me just kind of cut to the chase here. What am I trying to say here? The road noise is not that bad. It might sound like it to you, but considering the condition of this road for what we're hearing, I must say I'm very impressed. And the ride quality is very impressive as well. This road will definitely test your shocks and suspension. So if you're looking for a vehicle, you can probably hear a little bit more now that I've moved into the right-hand lane, that definitely is going to be in somewhat worse shape than the left. But ride quality with this Pilot is impressive, I must say. It's never been an issue in any of the Pilots that I've driven over the years. Everything's easy to use. Now, I know I might wear this out if you watch me regularly, so I apologize if you've heard this before. But if you've never had the technology that's available here, there are some car makers that definitely make the technology a little bit more challenging to learn. I won't name them, but Honda is not one of them. Some people might say the infotainment system here is a little antiquated. Well, one good thing about having had this system for a while is that there haven't been any major changes for quite a while. It's very easy to use and it's very easy to learn. So all of us had to do it at some point who have done it up till now. If you haven't, don't let that scare you off. Honda has a very easy system to use and learn, whether it's the navigation here with the built-in basically Garmin navigation or anything else that's here. If you can use your phone, you can use navigation, you can use the infotainment screen, you can use all of this stuff. Handling of the Pilot. Well, it handles well. It's not built to be something that handles as a high-performance vehicle, but it definitely gets down the road absolutely no problem. When you step on the gas pedal, it goes. It runs just fine. Now, there's only 2 of us in the interior today, so I don't have the advantage of a full load of passengers all the way into the back seat, but maybe we'll get that chance sometime. But I'm pretty sure that the Pilot can handle that just fine, just based on how easily it gets down the road. Yeah, I'd like to have a little bit more of a long-term review with some of these vehicles to be able to maybe load it down with some cargo, even pull a trailer and see what happens. We'll just have to see how that goes in the future. But overall, I always give high marks to Honda for the Pilot. To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.